Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Welcome back to my podcast, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Keeping It P. This is episode 4, potentially episode 3, because I recorded my last episode, which was about anxiety. And I'm in a studio that's not a private studio, and I got interrupted. And I wasn't prepared for that, I wasn't prepared for an interruption. But however, the group of 4 that interrupted me, they came into the room and they joined the conversation. And the conversation got extremely heavy, the conversation got extremely deep. And wow, there was a part of me, I would say my ego, that was a little frustrated because I got interrupted, especially since I've already had so many nerves with this podcast. So many nerves, so much anxiousness, so much nervousness with beginning this podcast. That's where those tears came from in that very first episode. They say heavy is the head that wears the crown. And, this podcast journey for me is so much bigger than me. And I say that not in a way where I think I'm special or anything like that, but if I look back on my life and I look at all of the things that I've gone through, all of the things that I've overcame, and things that I continue to still go through as well, I feel like the only right thing to do is to share that, because I know that the things that I've gone through, there's people going through those things. There's people working to overcome some of those very experiences. So I feel like it's my duty, it's my calling. You know what I mean? It's my universal pull to do this podcast. So I'm here, I'm showing up, I'm ready to rock. You know what I mean? The first 2 episodes, my boy was in the room, so I didn't really get to get in my flow. I didn't really get to get in my comfort zone. You feel me? When I tell people I'm doing a podcast, the first thing they want to know is what kind of podcast. They want to know the niche. They want to know who the target audience is. They want to know what I'm going to be talking about, X, Y, and Z. Truth be told, y'all, I don't got all of those answers. And for some strange reason, I don't feel like I'm supposed to have those answers. I'm very much so in a year of being obedient to my soul, being obedient to God, just showing up and doing what God say. And I'm showing up nervous, but I'm showing up. So long and behold, I'm still working on episode 3 to get episode 3 out. So I don't know if you're going to see that first or this first, because I already missed 2 weeks. And I gave you guys my word on this one. I gave you guys my word. This ain't going to be nothing where I disappear for months, X, Y, and Z. Now, I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, and this is far different from running a YouTube channel. This is very different from doing pranks, vlogs, and challenges. It took me 3 hours to set this podcast up today. I'm in a room by myself again. I have no hands on deck with me today. So I'm doing my thing. I'm doing my thing on my ones, but it feels good. It feels good to be in here by myself, my own energy, my own vibe. But as I was saying, everyone that I tell I'm doing a podcast, they want to know, and this is in person. They ask me what it is, who it's for, what you're talking about. And, I've gotten some advice from some good people. I'm around some good people, some smart people, some very wise people. And some good advice as well, you know what I'm saying? But I want to talk about taking advice. Because when you take advice from people, no human being is greater than the other. We may have different experiences. We may have different levels of wisdom. Some of us may be a little further on our journey than others, and that's fine. But when it comes to the truth that you hold in your heart, when it comes to knowing your soul, when it comes to knowing God and knowing that vision that God put on your heart and on your mind to execute, you could take advice all you want. At the end of the day, you're the judge, you're the jury, and you're the prosecutor. You got to take it back to yourself. So welcome back, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Keeping It P. This is episode 4. We don't know which order you're going to get it in, but that's okay because it doesn't have to be perfect. You know what I mean? It doesn't need to be perfect because chasing perfection will keep me off of this mic. I'm not going to lie to you. It'll run me right off. It will run me right off this podcast if I try to make it perfect. I can't make it perfect. You know what I'm saying? All I can do is get in front of you guys and ask that God allows what I need to say to come out in the most pure way, in the purest form, and may it reach the people that it can truly help and truly benefit. Yo, today is Valentine's Day, man. Today's Valentine's Day, and this is a very different Valentine's Day for me because I'm not with wifey. You know what I'm saying? Wifey's back in the UK. I'm in Miami. I'm here working on the podcast. I'm going all in with the podcast. I'm going to give it everything I got. And, but I miss my boo. I miss my wife for sure. So happy Valentine's, baby, and happy Valentine to all of the lovers out there. I hope that you guys enjoyed, your celebrations and things of that sort. I Googled myself today as I tried to figure out what was really on my heart to talk about and what I wanted to speak about today. So I Googled myself and I prayed and I said, God, just bring it to me. Just give me what I need to discuss. You know what I'm saying? Give me what it's time to talk about. And, it's already very difficult for me because, like I said, I've been through so much and I really want to let you guys into where you can understand where this passion comes from, where this pain comes from, where this need to express myself comes from, if you don't already know my story. So upon Googling myself, the very first thing that came up was what happened to Prince Maynard's daughter. And, I don't even know if I'm ready for this conversation. I don't know if I'm ready for this conversation, but we're going to have it. We're going to have this conversation. I'm going to be as real as I can. I'm going to be as raw as I can with respect to everyone involved. You know what I mean? There's certain parts of the story that is not my story to tell, so I won't tell it. I'll simply tell it how I experienced it. Being a parent, that is. You know what I mean? And no, I didn't carry her. No, I didn't give birth to her. And no, I had no involvement in her, in the making of her, the creating of her life. Do with that with whatever you will. Again, parts of the story it's just not my story to tell. And I want to be respectful. Always want to uphold myself in a respectful manner. But I was in a long-term relationship with, my first love, my first serious relationship. We was on again, off again, on again, off again. And it just ended up not working out. And she got pregnant. She got pregnant. And obviously, well, not obviously, but when we were together, we discussed having kids and things like that. And when she did get pregnant, the person that she got pregnant with wasn't rocking with it. Long story short, wasn't rocking with it. So she called me and she told me about the situation. And I believe I was 23 at that time, back in 2003. I think if my math serves me right, 22, 23, whatever the case may be. And I said to her, I'll raise the baby with you. I called my mom. My mom was like, absolutely, absolutely, we'll take it. You know what I mean? We stepped right in. Um, so that's what I did. I stepped in very, very early on in the pregnancy. And I stepped into that role. I stepped into that position. From the moment I said that I would be there, I was there. I was there from that moment until my baby girl took her last breath. My daughter's name is Brooklynne. Rest in peace to her soul. She's, man, she being her parent was the absolute most precious thing I've ever experienced, even though it was very short lived. She passed away at the age of 4 from leukemia. I might be jumping all over with this story, but it is very hard for me to get it out. But I'm gonna do my very best. So me and her mom ended up getting back together, for the sake of raising this baby girl. Moved in together, everything. Like I said, I was there. I was there from the moment I found out she was pregnant. And she had a terrible pregnancy too, like lots of sickness, things like that. Couldn't really work. I was there hand and foot. My baby girl was born, and I'll never forget this day. I'll never forget this moment. The moment that my daughter was born and the doctor told me it was my turn to do skin to skin. So if you ain't never have a kid, man, especially if you're not the one pushing the kid out, you're the one pushing the kid out. You're going to get your skin to skin. Like, you know what I mean? The father's in the room, the pops, father going to get the skin to skin. But I had this insecurity that lived within me, that lived deep down in my soul. Even though I was sure I was going to step up to the plate. I was sure I was ready. You know what I mean? I was confident in my ability to be a great parent and to take on that responsibility as if it was my plan. I was confident in that, but I wasn't confident in the world. This is 2013 we talking about here. I was not confident in the way the world would have perceived me. We was on the internet. We was on Instagram back then. You feel me? I had a viral meme that was posted on the internet that really crushed me. It crushed me inside, but not on the outside. I didn't show it. I didn't show it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't show it because I understand that once you post a picture on the internet, it's people gonna do what they want with it, and it's all fun and games, it's all jokes and stuff. But the meme said, "This B word," I'm gonna just say it. You know what I mean? This bitch thinks she's the father. Which is so ironic, which is so ironic because Snoop Dogg posted that meme. You know what I mean? Snoop Dogg posted that meme. I had people calling me. My mom's calling me. Tons of different people posted that meme. DC Young Fly, Gucci Mane's wife posted it. A couple other people. Those are just the ones that I remember. But it was very viral. I remember my mom called me. She was hot. Oh no, that bitch. I'm like, Ma, chill. You know what I'm saying? Chill is cool. It's just a picture. It goes online. It ain't nothing crazy. But deep down inside, it triggered me because it itched my already insecurity. I was already insecure. And that insecurity followed me all the way down to my daughter's last breath. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you. Again, I was like 22, 23. I can't do the math right now because my chest is all tight as I'm talking about this because I don't want to cry. And I'm not going to cry. But I had that insecurity though, for sure. Like a mug. So 2016 rolls around. We ended up getting together for the baby, and it was short-lived. The relationship didn't work out. I ended up walking away from the relationship, but not from my daughter. We did co-parenting. I still remained in her life. That's one thing I can say, that her mother never used her as a pawn for real or anything like that. Like, we really had a very solid co-parenting relationship. And my daughter was always around my family. She was always around me. I would go get her on the weekends, X, Y, and Z. Like, it was good. It was copacetic. It was very a good situation for us. 2016 rolls around. At this time, I'm living in California, San Diego. I'm working with AT&T at the time. I'm an assistant. I'm a store manager. I think I'm a store manager at AT&T. And I got a job opportunity to move to San Francisco and open up one of the biggest flagship stores in the country. The store is dope. San Francisco Union Square. Big, beautiful store. Crazy. I got an opportunity to go and run a sales team, be a part of the management team down there. So I ended up taking that job, and we had a going away party for me. And the night that we had that going away party for me, I was supposed to leave the next day. Later that night after the party, my daughter is crying all night, complaining about her leg hurting, her leg hurting, her leg hurting. So we like, what the hell, what's going on, man? So we ended up taking her to the emergency room, and we ended up staying in there a couple days. We got admitted to a hospital, test after test, after appointment, after appointment, after appointment. So I ended up not going to San Francisco when I was supposed to go. Of course, I stayed back and things like that. Once we spent a couple days in the hospital, then we thought we was all good. We still was waiting for some tests, but we had no idea what we was about to be up against whatsoever. So when she got released out the hospital, I ended up going to San Francisco. Boom. Get to San Francisco. First day on the job, I'm meeting with my new team, my boss, my fellow managers, because there was we had 10 different managers in the store, you feel me? And I'm meeting with them. This had to be the first meeting, I get a call from my mom. I get a call from my mom, yo, Brooklynne has cancer. What? You said, what? What you just say? Yo, what? What you say to me, yo? Yo, I'm dropped to the floor immediately. I ain't never felt pain like the pain I felt. Dropped to the floor, crumble to a ball, screaming. Unreal. So my I think my manager ended up booking me a flight, sending me back home, came back home, X, Y, and Z. Find out she has leukemia. She's got to go through these treatments. She's got to go through chemotherapy. She's got to go through bone marrow, all of this stuff, losing her hair. 4 years old. And my daughter had the brightest, she had the brightest energy. She had the most beautiful eyes. She was such an amazing little girl, And to see the journey of cancer and chemotherapy and how it just changes. It changes a person. It sucks everything out of you. And to see her go through that, as a parent, to see anyone go through the battle of cancer is very difficult. But to, see your child, she was 3 at the time. She passed when she was 4. But to see your child strapped up to a bed, you know what I mean? All of these different injections, all of these bags, all of these cords, it was just unbelievable. But, through that process, my baby girl always remained, she always, she was a fighter. She was a fighter. She used to fight the nurses. It took mad nurses to hold her down to give her shots. She was a fighter. She fought. She fought. You get me? She fought. And she, if I have to say that I have a hero, it would be my daughter. My daughter would be my hero because my daughter showed me what true strength is. She told me what true strength is. She showed that to me. She taught that to me. back to the insecurities. So I had those insecurities, you know what I mean? They were deep down in my soul. I never talked to nobody about it. I've never expressed that I was insecure about, you know, my role in her life, and maybe when she gets older, is she gonna want to go looking for her father? But it ate me up. It ate me up. And the thing is, when she passed, it got worse. Like, the insecurity actually got worse. But my daughter used to call me Mama B, right? Mama B. That was my name. She called me Mama B. We went through the battle. Excuse me if I'm all over the place with this, y'all. I'm just trying to get this out. But we went through the battle with cancer. She ended up beating it. She ended up beating the cancer. I was doing back and forth, San Francisco to coming back to Riverside in California, doing the traveling thing, coming back like every other weekend to spend time with her in the hospital, whatever the case was. She ended up beating it. I missed a couple big surgeries, due to work, but I was there every weekend that I could be there. She ended up beating it. And I ended up moving back after like a year, almost a year. I ended up moving back towards that side to be closer to her because I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do the distance anymore. And when I moved back, shortly after I moved back, we got a call saying that it's back. It's back and she's not going to make it. Feel like, that feeling, man, that feeling right there. That feeling right there, bro. That pain is undescribable. That pain is truly undescribable, It was one of the first times in my life where I was going through something and my mom couldn't look at me and tell me it's going to be okay. She couldn't look at me and tell me everything was going to be okay. My mom always tells me things are going to be okay, even in the midst of something horrible. She's always able to tell me it's going to be okay, but this time she wasn't able to. But I wasn't taking that though. You know what I mean? Like, I got fired up. I wasn't about to take that. I wasn't about to take that. Bro, I wanted to be on some John Q shit. All jokes aside, like, real talk, like, I was not about to take that. I'm up in a hospital having meetings with the doctors and the nurses, and I'm trying to identify what's going on. What can we do? Can we get her on some greens? Can we, broccoli, celery, some juices, some CBD, X, Y, and Z. This is around the time when that Netflix show came out, What the Health. And I'm noticing in the hospital, they just giving her anything to eat for real, like hot Cheetos, all type of whatever. So we in a meeting, and I asked the doctor, I said, yo, what she eating can affect any of this? And I ain't gonna get too deep into the answer that they gave me, but the answer was left. The answer was left, man. And I still tried. I still tried the CBD drops. I still tried giving her smoothies. You know what I mean? I still tried all of that. But there was nothing that I could do. There was nothing that I can do except for enjoy my time with her and be present in those last days. So I got this insecurity. This insecurity now changes, right? This insecurity of the fact that I'm not her blood parent is eating me up. Me worrying about the future, worrying about, how's she gonna explain this to kids in school, what the kids in school gonna think. She got 2 moms. What if she ever want to go looking for her pops, her sperm donor, eating me up? Now I'm faced with losing her. What? I'm asking God, like, yo, she's 4 years old. What the fuck? You feel me? Like, I'm dead questioning God, like, Me and God had some conversations where I was like, yo, nigga, what the fuck? Excuse my language, but God, you know the vibe. You feel me? Like trying to make sense out of this, trying to find understanding. It wasn't no understanding to find at the time. There's nothing that can ease my mind, that can ease that pain. But my daughter did something before she passed. She did a couple things before she passed. One of the things that she did, you know, in her last days, we tried to like just give her any little bit of enjoyment. But, you know, she was so different. Like her personality has changed. She was exhausted. She fought for so long. So much time in the hospital, so much chemotherapy, so much shots. All she wanted to do, like losing her hair, you know. She would wear these wigs because she didn't like the fact that she lost her hair at all. Like she was insecure about that. So we had to get her some wigs, and she liked her wigs. But you know, in her last days, we had a little family gathering for her. We took her, you know, we did a little pool situation, celebration, or whatever we would call it. I don't even know what we would call it. I feel like this time I was having a lot of just out of body experience because, you know, I'm trying to be strong. I'm trying to be strong for everyone around me. My mom was crumbling. My mom was crumbling left and right, and my mom is the strongest person that I know. So I'm just trying to be strong. But we're in the pool that day, and my baby girl loves to swim. And we're in the pool that day, and she's holding, you know, I'm holding her hands in the water, and she grabs my hands. She squeezes my hands, right? Squeeze them. And she's like, let me go. But she says it in such a assertive voice, like her voice almost shifts a little bit, like a whole different voice for real. And when she said it to me, I got chills like all over my body. Like she not talking about let her go in the pool, because as she's saying it, she's gripping onto my hands mad tight. And she's making immense eye contact with me. Like, let me go. Let me go. And then I even like, you know, when she said it, my soul already knew what it meant. My soul, it's like she was trying to give me something before she go, to let me know that she's going where she's supposed to go. And it's like her little soul knew the burdens that I was carrying, but no one knew the burdens that I was carrying because I didn't tell anybody what I was feeling. I didn't tell anybody what I was going through. And she said to me, she said, let me go. And that moment just sent chills down my spine, because I knew that was her soul letting me know that she's going where she's supposed to go. And that I have to let go. I can't hold on to her. I can't keep her here. Something else she told me before she passed. One day, randomly, we at my mom's crib. We laying in the bed. And she said to me, she said, I'm not going to call you Mama B no more. And I'm like, why, baby? Why not? She's like, I'm going to call you Mommy. I'm like, what? Well, you know, if me and your mom in the room together, we're going to get confused. You feel me? And she's like, oh, I'm calling you Mommy. Again, these are her last days. You know, I'm speechless as I even tell that story, but that conversation with her, she gave me something again. It's like she knew what I was struggling with. She knew what I was dealing with, but she gave me that piece of confirmation before transitioning. It felt like she was telling me, like, you have nothing to be insecure about. And I acknowledge you as my mom. 4 years old, y'all. 4 years old. And those words, the let it go, the I'm not calling you Mama B no more. And from the time she said that, she stopped calling me Mama B. She straight up stopped. She was not playing no games. She meant it. The day she passed. The day she passed, man. You know, there's some days that I when you go through something, you experience something, you can remember it verbatim. And the day she passed was just one of those days, man. She passed at home, in her bedroom, surrounded by her loved ones, where she took her last breath. And, ultimately, what I want to say is that God gave me an experience, gave me an opportunity to be a parent. And it was one of the greatest experiences I've ever experienced. It was the highest level of unconditional love that I ever experienced. And I couldn't imagine ever being okay, but today I can say that I'm okay, and I share that story because losing people you love is very, very difficult. I know some people right now in my close circle that's dealing with early passings of loved ones, and it's difficult, and it changes you. It changes you so, so much when you lose someone you love. Like, part of me died that day with her. Part of me went into that casket with her. And I feel like ever since she left, I've been on this journey of trying to make myself whole again. I stopped posting my daughter. On social media. Shortly after I got into, my new relationship and my marriage and stuff like that, we started popping off on YouTube. I stopped posting her because I was so protective. You know what I mean? I was so protective. I was still dealing with that insecurity. So I stopped posting her on social. So that's why a lot of you guys don't know that I have a daughter, because I stopped posting her. Because if I'm overprotective about anything, I'm overprotective of my daughter. And I know that everyone in the world is not ready to understand that relationship, But I understand that relationship. My daughter understood that relationship. So I want to dedicate not only this episode to my baby girl, but this entire journey to my daughter, to my hero, Brooklynne Antoinette. I love you. I miss you. And I know you're present. I know you're here. You have to be. Or else this wouldn't be today's episode. Guys, I appreciate you listening to my story. I hope that something I said shifts something for you and puts something into perspective for you. Life is short. Life is short. And we don't know when we're going to go, and we don't know when our loved ones are going to go. And nothing can prepare us for losing our loved ones. Nothing can prepare us for a battle of cancer. This is why I'm such a big advocate on being as healthy as we possibly can. Diseases, a lot of these diseases, guys, they can manifest through your mind first, through your thoughts. And I'm not obviously talking about a baby, but I've done my research too on, like, how does a baby get cancer? We got to be aware of the foods that we're eating. We have to be aware of the foods that we're feeding our children, guys. We got to start reading the labels. We can't live our life in fear. Hell no, we can't live life in fear at all. But we can be aware We can be aware. And there's one thing that you can absolutely change that's absolutely in your control, and it's your thoughts. It's your intentions. Lead with love, you leave with love. That's a quick story about my daughter, Brooklynne Antoinette. Rest in peace. Rest in paradise. And my heart goes out to anyone that's dealing with any form of grief, any form of loss. I will leave you guys with this. In the same year, I lost my grandmother to cancer as well, and her and I weren't really on speaking terms, because she didn't accept my lifestyle. But that also left me with a luggage filled with guilt, like straight guilt, you know. So there's two things I want to leave you with that I think is very, very, very important. One, let's value our time that we have while we still have the time. I'm gonna leave you with a couple things, actually. Let's be mindful of our thoughts. Let's be mindful of our negative thoughts. Let's be mindful of our intentions for ourselves and our intentions for others. Let's be mindful of what we're feeding our children. Let's be mindful of what we're feeding ourselves. Let's move our bodies. You know, we could have a million problems. And I've seen this on Instagram. I've seen this quote a lot, but I deeply resonate with it. We can have 1,000,001 problems until we have a health problem. And then we have one problem. I think that it's just time, guys, that we just be more mindful. Be more mindful. We be more kind to one another. We be more compassionate, more empathetic, more loving. And I don't mean that in no cheesy way, yo. Like, I mean that in a real way. A little bit of kindness can go such a long way. So, for today's episode, I know you guys got your journals out. Y'all waiting. I know y'all got those journals out. Today, I want you to reflect upon anyone in your life that you haven't forgave. And if there's someone in your life that's caused you some pain and you can't stand their guts, maybe you're condemning them, you're not rocking with them, F them, it's on site, whatever the case may be. Maybe it's a family member, especially my people. I know we're rejected inside of the household. My African American people that's a part of the community. I know that we're not accepted. Find it in your heart to find forgiveness for anyone that's done anything to you. Even if you don't have to forgive them to their face, but the forgiveness is not for them. Forgiveness is not for them. The forgiveness is for you. Because when we're holding on to pain and we're holding on to hurt and grudge, it traps us. It's energy that's trapped in your body, that's stored, that's stuck. So if there's somebody in your life that has done you wrong or maybe hasn't accepted you for who you are, write them a letter in your journal and forgive them. Forgive them in your heart. And that's going to free up so much energy within your body, within your soul. Let it out. Write it out. If you have someone that's passed, a loved one, a friend, write them a letter in your journal. Right now. Get your journal. You should already have the journal. Write a letter to them. Get those feelings out, those emotions out. We don't always talk about it. We don't always want to talk about it. We ain't really taught to talk about it. Write it down. Write a letter. I've written so many letters. I had to write letters to my grandmother. I had to forgive my grandmother after her passing. Can't come read those letters, but it helped me tremendously. And I hope that helps you too. Again, I appreciate you guys for rocking with me. We really just getting started, man. This is episode 4, Keeping It P. Available on Spotify, available on YouTube. You feel me? How's the mic today? How's the quality today, y'all? It took me 3 hours to get this bad boy set up. I'm beat. I'm tired. But my heart is full. And I'm really, really excited for this journey. And I gotta let you guys know that I'm not taking this journey lightly. I'm away from my wife right now. My wife is in the UK. I'm here in Miami. And I'm locked in. This is my year of being obedient. So I will go wherever God say go. I will show up, whether I'm nervous, whether I'm scared, whether I'm fearful, whether I'm anxious. And I hope that I can inspire you to show up in that way in your own life as you chase your own dreams. It's been real. I'll catch y'all in the next one.